Some bikes are remembered for breaking records, others for never breaking down. In the heart of the 1970s, reliability wasn't just a feature, it was the foundation. These weren't flashy, they were faithful. Here are the 15 most reliable motorcycles of the 1970s. Number 15. Honda CB350, 1968 to 1973. The Honda CB350 didn't roll onto the scene to dominate racetracks or win design awards. It arrived with something far more important: consistency. In a decade full of bold experiments and mechanical misfires, the CB350 was the dependable friend every rider needed. It didn't ask for maintenance, it just delivered miles, long ones, in any weather. This wasn't a motorcycle that turned heads at every stoplight, but ask any seasoned rider from the 1970s, and chances are they either owned one or knew someone who swore by it. That kind of reach isn't just about affordability, it's about reliability. The CB350 was a bike that simply refused to quit. Whether on winding back roads or daily commutes, it kept showing up and running smooth. Power came from a parallel twin engine that displaced 326 cubic centimeters. It was air-cooled, with a 4-stroke layout that favored low stress over high drama. This wasn't a machine designed to be pushed to the limit, it was designed to never let you down. The top speed hovered near 105 miles per hour, which was more than enough for highway cruising and spirited weekend rides. But what made the experience special wasn't the number on the dial, it was how confidently the bike got there. No rattles, no fuss, just clean, steady pull. Horsepower output landed at 36 horsepower, a modest figure on paper, but perfectly matched to the CB350's light frame and stable handling. It didn't struggle to move, it glided with surprising smoothness for a machine in its weight class. Torque figures clocked in at just under 21 pound-feet, which might seem tame until you realize how little effort it took to tap into it. Power delivery was smooth, predictable, and forgiving, a combination that kept both beginners and veterans happy in the saddle. Fuel economy landed near 68 miles per gallon, giving it one of the best efficiency ratings of the era. For riders on a budget or looking to stretch their ride, it was a dream machine. The Honda CB350 wasn't flashy, it was faithful. And in a decade where that quality was rare, it earned its spot among the most reliable motorcycles of the 1970s. Number 14. Yamaha XS650, 1970 to 1983. Some motorcycles earn their reputation over decades. The Yamaha XS650 did it in just a few rides. From the moment it hit the pavement in the early 1970s, this parallel twin carved out a legacy not with flash, but with faith. Faith that it would start, run, and get you home every time. The XS650 was Yamaha's answer to the British bikes of the era. But it did something those British twins often failed to do. It stayed together. Owners praised its near-bulletproof construction, its smooth operation, and the fact that, unlike many of its contemporaries, it didn't leak oil like a sieve. This was Japanese engineering meeting classic styling, and the result was something that lasted. At the center was a 4-stroke, air-cooled parallel twin engine with a displacement of 653 cubic centimeters. Simple in design but tough as nails, it delivered usable power without stressing the parts inside. It was the kind of engine that could take abuse and keep on humming, no complaints. Horsepower output reached close to 53 horsepower, giving it plenty of punch for backroad exploration or highway pulls. It did not demand high revs or complicated shifting. The XS650 liked a calm wrist and a steady road. Top speed was measured at around 110 miles per hour, more than enough for most riders. But that wasn't what defined this machine. It was how it carried itself up to that number. Stable, sure-footed, and comfortable enough to keep going well past the city limits. Torque came in at a healthy 37 pound-feet, which gave it a relaxed, confident pull from low RPMs. Whether in stop-and-go traffic or climbing through hilly back roads, the power delivery stayed consistent. Mileage averaged about 53 miles per gallon, which meant long rides could stay long without constant fuel stops. For a bike of its size, that was another quiet win. The Yamaha XS650 didn't just prove it could rival the best, it proved it could outlast them. And in the world of reliability, that's what counts most. Number 13. Kawasaki Z1 1972 to 1975. Not every motorcycle arrives quietly. The Kawasaki Z1 showed up loud, fast, and impossible to ignore. But underneath the thunder was something less expected, a machine built with such durability that it outlived its own hype. Released in the early 1970s, the Z1 was Kawasaki's bold entry into the superbike race. It didn't just join the competition, it redefined it. But while most remember it for power and speed, its real secret was how well it held up. This wasn't a one-season wonder. It was built to last, and thousands of them are still running today to prove it. Power came from a 4-cylinder, air-cooled engine displacing 903 cubic centimeters. With dual overhead cams and a robust build, this engine earned a reputation for toughness. It was smooth when it needed to be, aggressive when asked, and dependable no matter how hard you pushed it. Top speed reached a staggering 132 miles per hour, placing it well ahead of nearly every rival of the time. But riders didn't need to ride flat out to appreciate what the Z1 offered. Even at moderate speeds, it delivered a sense of control and quality that was hard to find elsewhere. Horsepower output was rated at 82 horsepower, but it was the delivery that impressed most. Linear, manageable, and always ready, this was a bike that never felt overworked or underpowered. And despite its muscle, it had manners. Torque figures came in at 56 pound-feet, enough to make mid-range acceleration feel effortless. That meant fewer gear changes, less engine strain, and a smoother ride for those long, open stretches. Fuel economy hovered around 45 miles per gallon, which for a performance machine of this size was a pleasant surprise. Riders could go the distance without frequent stops or finicky tuning. The Kawasaki Z1 didn't just dominate headlines. It earned a lasting place in garages around the world by doing something rare, being both thrilling and relentlessly reliable. Number 12. BMW R90S, 1973 to 1976. The BMW R90S didn't need to prove itself over time. It arrived already fully formed, refined, and ready to outlast the era it was born into. Introduced in the early 1970s, the R90S was BMW's answer to the growing superbike trend, but it refused to follow anyone else's formula. This was not a motorcycle built to chase trends. It was built to set standards. With an unmistakable paint scheme and a factory-fitted fairing, it looked like a gentleman's express. Underneath that style, however, was the kind of long-haul reliability that turned riders into loyalists. Powering the R90S was a flat twin, air-cooled engine displacing 898 cubic centimeters, known for its smooth torque and signature boxer layout. This engine was perfectly balanced and easy to maintain. Riders who clocked serious mileage often did so on this platform, and they did it with confidence. Top speed hovered near 125 miles per hour, a figure that felt even more impressive when matched to the bike's stability and composure at high speeds. It was a motorcycle that made speed feel civilized. Horsepower output was rated at 67 horsepower, and it came on clean and predictable. It was not a bike that demanded constant gear work or aggressive throttle. Instead, it rewarded calm inputs with responsive feedback and buttery acceleration. Torque landed at around 55 pound-feet, delivered in a flat and usable range. That gave the R90S its charm. Never frantic, always composed. Uphill climbs, heavy loads, or long-distance touring never fazed it. Fuel economy averaged close to 48 miles per gallon, which added even more value for riders looking to go the distance without burning through their wallets. The BMW R90S wasn't loud, but it spoke clearly. Every part was built with purpose, every ride delivered with assurance. It stood out not by shouting for attention, but by never letting you down. Number 11. Suzuki GT750, 1971 to 1977. If there was ever a bike that proved innovation could go hand-in-hand with reliability, it was the Suzuki GT750, nicknamed the Water Buffalo in the United States. This machine didn't just stand out, it stood the test of time in a way few two-strokes ever did. Released at a time when riders were skeptical about large displacement two-stroke motorcycles, the GT750 defied expectations. It was the first mass-produced Japanese motorcycle to feature liquid cooling, a bold move that paid off not just in performance, but in long-term dependability. Riders who once hesitated quickly found themselves trusting this triple for long hauls and daily commutes alike. At the center of it all was a liquid-cooled, two-stroke, inline 3-cylinder engine displacing 738 cubic centimeters. That setup alone was unusual, but Suzuki made it work flawlessly. The engine ran smoother and cooler than many of its air-cooled rivals, which translated into better reliability and less wear over time. Top speed came in around 110 miles per hour, but what set the bike apart wasn't its pace. It was the comfort and control it maintained at speed. Highway riding felt easy, even with a passenger and gear loaded up for the weekend. Horsepower output was rated at 67 horsepower, a figure that gave it more than enough thrust for its class. But the delivery was calm and refined, more tourer than sprinter, and riders appreciated that balance. Torque settled at 54 pound-feet, allowing the bike to pull strongly from low revs without needing constant gear changes. That made it ideal for relaxed cruising and heavy-duty touring alike. Fuel economy landed near 37 miles per gallon, which was respectable for a heavy two-stroke with such a unique configuration. Long-distance riders learned to trust it, not just for comfort, but for the simple fact that it kept going. The Suzuki GT750 may have started as an experiment, but it ended up as a proven companion. Reliable, distinctive, and built with surprising thoughtfulness, it was a rare blend of bold engineering and rock-solid longevity. Number 10. Honda CB750, 1969 to 1978. The Honda CB750 didn't just enter the scene, it redefined it. Not with wild looks or outrageous gimmicks, but with smart engineering, unmatched reliability, and a build quality that set the standard for a generation. When it launched in the late 1960s, the CB750 offered something no one expected: 4 cylinders, a front disc brake, electric start, and all of it wrapped into a package that worked as well on Monday mornings as it did on Sunday rides. Riders didn't just like it, they trusted it. That trust turned into loyalty, and that loyalty turned the bike into a legend. At the core was a 4-cylinder, air-cooled engine displacing 736 cubic centimeters. This engine wasn't just powerful for its time, it was bulletproof. Riders put thousands of miles on these motors without drama, without breakdowns, and often without needing more than basic maintenance. Top speed reached close to 125 miles per hour, but few riders bought the CB750 to go flat out. They bought it because it could go fast and still come home without needing a wrench. Horsepower landed at 68 horsepower, which was impressive on paper, but even more impressive on the road. The bike pulled cleanly, shifted smoothly, and never felt overwhelmed, whether in traffic or on open highways. Torque sat around 44 pound-feet, arriving in a predictable, easy-to-manage wave that made the bike feel both strong and forgiving. That combination made it perfect for riders of all skill levels. Fuel economy hovered near 45 miles per gallon, which gave it long legs for touring without draining the wallet. Add in low maintenance costs and wide parts availability, and you had a machine that could truly go the distance. The Honda CB750 didn't rely on flash to make its mark. It relied on function, and in a decade packed with promises, it was one of the few bikes that actually delivered, ride after ride, year after year. Number 9. Yamaha RD350, 1973 to 1975. Every so often, a motorcycle comes along that punches above its weight and keeps punching for years. The Yamaha RD350 was that kind of machine. Compact, ferocious, and built to last far longer than anyone expected. In an era when two-stroke engines were known more for thrills than for trustworthiness, the RD350 broke the stereotype. It was fast, yes, but also impressively resilient. Riders who bought one for weekend fun quickly found themselves riding it every day. It handled daily commutes, backroad blasts, and even long hauls without skipping a beat. Power came from a 2-stroke, air-cooled parallel twin engine with a displacement of 347 cubic centimeters. It was a simple design, but Yamaha made it right. Maintenance was easy, parts were plentiful, and the engine rarely complained even when pushed hard. Top speed reached near 104 miles per hour, a surprising figure given the bike's compact frame. But it wasn't the number that made riders smile, it was how quickly and effortlessly it got there. The power band was punchy and immediate, but never unpredictable. Horsepower output landed at 39 horsepower, giving the bike a serious edge in its weight class. Acceleration came on strong, making it feel far larger than its displacement suggested. It was the kind of performance that caught riders, and sometimes traffic, off guard. Torque hovered around 26 pound-feet, offering enough grunt to cruise city streets without constant shifting. And on tight roads, that low-end pull translated into pure riding joy. Fuel economy averaged about 46 miles per gallon, making it surprisingly efficient for a 2-stroke. Riders could go longer between stops without sacrificing any of the fun. The Yamaha RD350 wasn't just a lightweight rocket. It was a rare mix of excitement and endurance. In a time when reliability and two-strokes rarely went hand in hand, this little twin proved that you really could have both. Got a favorite 70s bike that ran forever? Or think we left one out? Let us know in the comments, give the video a thumbs up, and subscribe if you love motorcycles that last longer than the road itself. Number 8. Harley-Davidson XR750, 1970 to 1985. When a machine dominates racetracks for over a decade, it usually doesn't get described as reliable. It gets called a legend. But the Harley-Davidson XR750 earned both titles. Built for flat-track racing, this V-twin became one of the most enduring and dependable platforms in the sport. Unlike most street bikes of the era, the XR750 was born in competition. It was designed to survive dirt, heat, and brutal wheel-to-wheel battles without breaking a sweat. And yet, even in that high-pressure world, it stood out for how consistently it ran. Riders didn't just win with it, they trusted it to get them across the finish line, again and again. At its core was a four-stroke, air-cooled, V-twin engine displacing 748 cubic centimeters. The engine wasn't oversized or over-engineered. Instead, it was compact, balanced, and built with simplicity in mind. Every part had a job, and every job was done well. Top speed for the track-ready versions hovered around 110 miles per hour, though in practice, it wasn't about peak velocity. It was about maintaining speed lap after lap without mechanical complaints. The XR was a machine you could push hard without fear of failure. Horsepower output was rated near 70 horsepower, depending on the setup, which made it more than competitive in its class. But what really made it shine was its stamina. Few bikes could go that fast, that hard, for that long. Torque figures sat close to 55 pound-feet, which gave it the explosive acceleration needed to launch out of corners and gain ground on rivals. That consistent, usable torque made it just as effective in tight packs as it was on open straights. Fuel economy was never a priority in racing trim, but the engine's simplicity meant low maintenance and fewer breakdowns, a major reason why it outlasted so many of its peers. The Harley-Davidson XR750 wasn't built to be flashy. It was built to win, and more importantly, to keep winning. In a world where engines cracked under pressure, this one just kept going, and that makes it one of the most reliable machines of its time. Number 7. Honda CB504, 1971 to 1978. Not every motorcycle needs to be the biggest to earn respect. The Honda CB504 arrived quietly between its more famous siblings, but it built a reputation the old-fashioned way, by working flawlessly, mile after mile. Launched as a middleweight alternative to the larger CB750, this model offered many of the same strengths in a slightly more compact and approachable package. Riders who wanted the smoothness of a four-cylinder without the extra size or price found their answer here. And what they got was a bike that lasted far longer than anyone expected. At its heart was a four-stroke, air-cooled inline-four engine displacing 498 cubic centimeters. It shared much of its architecture with the larger CB models, and that meant it shared their bulletproof character too. Valve adjustments, oil changes, and the occasional carb cleaning. That was about all it needed. Top speed came in around 115 miles per hour, but this bike wasn't just about speed, it was about poise. Even when pushed hard, the CB504 stayed composed and confident, never feeling strained or unstable. Horsepower output was rated at 50 horsepower, which gave it a satisfying surge through the mid-range. It had enough grunt to keep up with the larger bikes, but it was delivered in a way that made it easy to manage at any pace. Torque hovered near 31 pound-feet, making the bike particularly enjoyable on twisty roads and in stop-and-go city traffic. You didn't have to fight it, you just rode it, and it responded with calm strength. Fuel economy averaged around 50 miles per gallon, making it ideal for long-distance commuters or weekend explorers who didn't want to spend half their trip at the gas station. The Honda CB504 may not have been the loudest voice in the room, but it spoke clearly through its reliability. It was simple, it was smooth, and it kept running long after others had faded away. Number 6. Kawasaki KZ650, 1976 to 1983. Some bikes were built to compete, others were built to complete the journey, the day, the story. The Kawasaki KZ650 did a bit of both, delivering performance close to its bigger Z1 sibling, while earning a name for itself as one of the most reliable middleweights of the decade. Introduced in the mid-1970s, The KZ650 was Kawasaki's way of scaling down superbike energy into a package that regular riders could afford, manage, and depend on. It wasn't just a smaller version of something else. It was a full-fledged machine with its own identity and its own loyal following. The engine was a 4-cylinder, air-cooled unit with a displacement of 652 cubic centimeters, tuned for both strength and smoothness. This power plant proved to be incredibly durable. Owners reported high mileage with little more than routine upkeep, and that was no accident. Kawasaki designed it with longevity in mind. Top speed came in close to 120 miles per hour, which made it one of the quickest in its class. But more impressive was how stable it felt at those speeds. Riders could cruise, accelerate, or lean into a corner without worrying about wobble or fade. Horsepower was rated at 64 horsepower, a number that gave it a proper bite without becoming intimidating. It made power available when you wanted it, and stayed smooth when you didn't. Torque figures hovered around 42 pound-feet, which gave the bike a flexible and forgiving nature. City riding, highway cruising, or light touring, it handled all of it with quiet confidence. Fuel economy averaged close to 48 miles per gallon, which made it more efficient than many of its rivals, especially when paired with its performance and weight. The Kawasaki KZ650 may not have had the headlines of its larger siblings, but it built a reputation the hard way by showing up, holding together, and getting riders where they needed to go. Time didn't wear it down. It wore time down. Number 5. BMW R75/5, 1969 to 1973. Not every motorcycle invites you to ride across a continent, but the BMW R75/5 practically encouraged it. Built with long-haul durability at its core, this machine wasn't just made for the road, it was made to outlast it. When it debuted at the end of the 1960s, the R75/5 introduced a new level of refinement to the world of touring motorcycles. It offered a level of comfort, engineering, and reliability that immediately set it apart. Riders didn't just buy it for performance, they bought it for peace of mind, knowing they could trust it whether crossing a city or a country. Its engine was a horizontally opposed, air-cooled twin-cylinder boxer layout, displacing 745 cubic centimeters. Known for its balance and simplicity, the boxer design gave the bike a low center of gravity and a famously smooth ride. Just as important, it was built to keep running with minimal fuss. Top speed came in near 110 miles per hour, which was plenty for touring duties. But speed was never the headline here. It was about how easily the R75/5 handled that speed. Calm, stable, and never rushed. Horsepower was rated at 50 horsepower, more than adequate for two-up riding and loaded saddlebags. But what made the bike special was how quietly and effortlessly that power arrived. It didn't shout, it delivered. Torque figures landed around 44 pound-feet, which gave the bike strong pull from low in the rev range. It was perfect for winding mountain roads or steady highway climbs, where roll-on strength mattered more than peak output. Fuel economy hovered around 50 miles per gallon, giving it excellent range, especially when paired with its optional larger fuel tank. For long-distance riders, this meant fewer stops and more freedom to roam. The BMW R75/5 wasn't about flash, it was about function, and in a decade full of promises, this was a motorcycle that simply did what it said: ride, repeat, and ride again. Number 4. Yamaha DT250, 1979. Some motorcycles were born for the street, others for the dirt. The Yamaha DT250 didn't pick sides, it conquered both. This was the kind of machine you could ride to work on Friday and then take straight into the hills on Saturday without changing a thing. Released at a time when dual sport bikes were just beginning to take off, the DT250 offered riders a rare kind of freedom. It was light, simple, and incredibly reliable. Whether you were crossing city blocks or forest trails, it never made a fuss. It just kept moving, no matter what kind of road or lack of road was ahead. Power came from a single-cylinder, 2-stroke engine, displacing 246 cubic centimeters. It was air-cooled, quick to respond, and built with the kind of ruggedness that made it a go-to choice for riders who didn't want to worry about breakdowns far from home. Top speed reached close to 75 miles per hour, which was plenty for its purpose. The DT wasn't chasing highway supremacy, it was about balance. Fast enough for the street, strong enough for the trail. Horsepower was rated at 23 horsepower, giving it more than enough grunt to climb hills, power through sand, or weave through weekday traffic. The delivery was sharp and immediate, especially for a 2-stroke. Torque came in around 20 pound-feet, and thanks to its lightweight frame and tall gearing, the bike felt responsive without being twitchy. It gave you control on loose terrain and stability where it mattered. Fuel economy averaged near 50 miles per gallon, and with a fuel tank holding around 2.4 gallons, it offered solid range for both short commutes and long dirt road loops. The Yamaha DT250 wasn't built to impress anyone with numbers or styling. It earned its reputation by starting every time, handling anything thrown its way, and doing it all without complaint. For riders who valued reliability over flash, it was everything they needed in one unstoppable package. Number 3, Honda XL250, 1972 to 1976. The first time you rode a Honda XL250, it didn't feel like something to get used to. It felt like something you already knew. It had that rare quality of being instantly familiar, like it was designed around the rider, not the other way around. Introduced in the early 1970s, the XL250 was Honda's answer to a growing demand for reliable dual-sport motorcycles. It was lightweight, easy to maintain, and nearly indestructible. Riders appreciated it not just for where it could go, but for how little it complained getting there. From city streets to dusty trails, it handled the journey without hesitation. At its heart was a single-cylinder, 4-stroke, air-cooled engine, displacing 248 cubic centimeters. That might not sound like much, but the engine was designed to last. With its overhead cam setup and excellent cooling, it ran smoothly under pressure and refused to overheat even during long rides in tough conditions. Top speed landed near 78 miles per hour, which was more than enough for its intended use. The bike wasn't meant to break land speed records. It was meant to be trusted, whether crawling through mud or cruising down a gravel road. Horsepower figures hovered around 24 horsepower, but the delivery was crisp and responsive, making it easy to control in low traction environments. It wasn't about brute force, it was about getting the power exactly when and where you needed it. Torque came in around 14 pound-feet, arriving early in the rev range and offering a smooth, confident pull. That low-end strength made steep climbs and technical riding feel less intimidating, especially for newer riders. Fuel economy reached close to 80 miles per gallon, an exceptional figure that made it one of the most fuel-efficient bikes of its time. Combined with a modest tank size, it offered surprising range on a single fill-up. The Honda XL250 didn't ask for much. A little gas, a little attention, and it gave you everything in return. Dependable, capable, and simple in the best way, it was the quiet workhorse that just kept going. Number 2, Suzuki TS185, 1971 to 1981. Every now and then, a motorcycle comes along that feels like it was built with real riders in mind. No frills, no fuss, just the kind of reliability that turns a simple ride into a habit. The Suzuki TS185 was that kind of machine. When it hit the market in the early 1970s, the TS185 was designed as a dual-purpose bike that could tackle a dirt trail as easily as it could handle a daily commute. It didn't pretend to be a race bike, and it never claimed to be the fastest. What it did promise, dependability, versatility, and ease of use, it delivered on every time the key turned. The engine was a 2-stroke single-cylinder unit displacing 183 cubic centimeters. It featured Suzuki's proprietary CCI oil injection system, which meant no premixing was necessary. For many riders, that alone was reason to trust it. It was a bike you could just fill, kickstart, and ride. Top speed sat near 65 miles per hour, which might not sound impressive on paper, but for the back roads, trails, and rural stretches where this bike thrived, it was more than enough. It was never about how fast it could go, it was about how often it got there. Horsepower came in at around 16 horsepower, delivered through a wide and forgiving power band. The bike didn't lurch or surge. It eased into its strength, which made it especially comfortable for new riders or those looking for a laid-back experience. Torque was rated close to 15 pound-feet, and when paired with the bike's low weight, it made hill climbs and trail riding feel effortless. There was never a need to wring it out. It responded with minimal effort. Fuel economy often reached around 70 miles per gallon, allowing riders to go farther without planning every stop. With a tank just over 2 gallons, it struck a perfect balance between range and agility. The Suzuki TS185 wasn't built to impress showroom crowds. It was built for the people who actually rode, those who needed a bike that started every time, asked for little, and gave back plenty. And for 10 solid years, that's exactly what it did. Number 1, Honda CB450 Super Sport, 1975 to 1977. There are motorcycles that shout for attention, and then there are those that simply get everything right without ever raising their voice. The Honda CB450 Super Sport belonged firmly in the second category. Unveiled in the mid-1970s, this machine was Honda's refined answer to the small displacement sport bike. It didn't just look good, it ran flawlessly. Riders who bought one quickly realized they had something rare, a bike that performed well, handled better, and required very little in return. For many, it was their first real sport bike. For others, it It was the one they never sold. Its engine was a 4-cylinder, air-cooled, 4-stroke unit displacing 392 cubic centimeters. Unusual for its class, the inline-4 layout gave the CB450 a distinct character. It revved smoothly, responded crisply, and sounded like a bike twice its size when you twisted the throttle. Top speed reached nearly 103 miles per hour, more than enough to hang with larger machines of the time. But what really impressed riders was how calm and planted the bike felt as it approached its upper limit. It gave the sense that it was always in control even when you weren't. Horsepower came in at 37 horsepower, a modest number on paper, but perfectly matched to the bike's light frame and 6-speed gearbox. Shifts were clean and precise, and the power delivery was linear. Torque hovered around 24 pound-feet, delivered in a smooth, predictable curve. It never rushed or hesitated. It just pulled steadily through each gear, whether cruising through town or winding through back roads. Fuel economy settled around 55 miles per gallon, making it a practical machine for both everyday riders and weekend enthusiasts. The engine didn't just run efficiently, it ran consistently, often logging tens of thousands of miles with little more than regular oil changes. The Honda CB450 Supersport wasn't built to win spec sheet battles. It was built to last, to perform, and to remind riders that sometimes quiet excellence is the most powerful kind. These 15 motorcycles weren't built to impress. They were built to endure. If one of them still lives in your garage, or if we missed a true warrior, drop it in the comments. Like the video and subscribe for more motorcycles that never quit.